Hello, welcome to the very first episode of this YouTube channel. This channel was created for people who like to explore and see what the Netherlands has to offer. Today we are going to look around in the village of Echten and the city of Gogh. So, with no further ado, let's get started. This is a peat house. Believe it or not, but this is the housing for the people who lived and worked in the peat lands. On the inside, it's very dark. The empty space usually has some animals. The living space was very sober. Usually the only things inside were a table, a few chairs, and a stove. Also in the living space there were a few box beds. This peat house was built by the residents of Echten in 1981 to celebrate the 800th birthday of Echten. In 1993 they completely rebuilt the building. The toilet was outside. This is called the outhouse. A few meters away from the peat house, there is a gift shop and a visitor center where you can learn all about the village of Echten. The last thing we want to show you here in Echten is the house of Echten. The earliest known date for the house is around the 15th century. In the beginning of the 18th century, it was expanded to the mansion it still is today. It is now being used as a workplace for visually impaired and mentally handicapped people. The moat surrounding the house dates back to the period before 1700. On the backside of the estate there is a park, where you can take a walk and enjoy the scenery. Welcome to Gogh. Translated to English, this means high peat. The town was called this way because it was in this area where a lot of peat was won. The lock you see here is from 1929. This was kept as a memory to remember the birth of Gogh. The canal you see here is the last remaining piece of the old canal, which was created between 1627 and 1634. The canal with its 11 wooden locks was the lifeline for Echten, which would become Gogh and Echten later on. Our next stop is a house where Van Gogh lived in the autumn of 1883. He stayed here for a few months and then moved on to other parts of the country. These are 3 works that he made when staying in the province of Drenthe, where Gogh is in. This is the city center. The water you see here was made to honor the history of the town. In the early days, a lot of the roads were canals. The red art represents a shopping bag. In 2023, it was 140 years ago when Van Gogh arrived here by train. To celebrate this, a portrait was made on the face of this apartment complex. Every Thursday and Saturday there is a market in the city center with lots of fresh vegetables, flowers, fresh fish, our famous Dutch cheese, and many more. The city center is littered with small terraces where you can grab a cup of coffee and lunch or snacks. And if you want, you can go on a shopping spree because there are lots and lots of stores. The house with the pigeonholes is one of the oldest buildings in town, built around 1660. Across the street is an even older building. It's a cafe, built around 1632. This church is also very old. The build started in the year 1652 and was completed 12 years later. In 1766, it was expanded to what it is today. This is the final destination. The mill was built in 1834. It burned down in 1904 and was completely rebuilt. The old photo shows a canal. This is how it looked in the past. If you like this video, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. Until next time.